TakeTones.com. TakeTones.com.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Chick Smooth. Here we go, man. So the pod guys are back, right? Rory and Mal came back to the podcast today. Last night, as you guys can see, Rory posted up a picture. Some of you guys were saying the picture was old, regardless of the case. I guess that was a signal where Rory was basically saying, yo, we're back. All right. So let me just dissect this first podcast that they just dropped this morning. So Rory went first, right? Let's just start from the very, very beginning. At first, it was awkward. Just with the whole start, if you guys notice, Mal didn't really talk for the first 5 minutes. He was quiet. I guess he didn't know what to say, or maybe he was just waiting for Joe and Rory to just finish trading whatever small conversations they were having. So it was really awkward. You know, that's how you can tell there was some really, really heated beef, right? So Rory pretty much went first. And his main thing was, I'm not going to, just tell you guys everything he said. Just go listen. But his main thing was that, he didn't want to do the social media drama, right? He admitted that there was a lot of issues. And he decided to just keep everything quiet. He basically said, yo, we don't want to be the laughingstock of social media. We don't want to be the guys that people talk about for a day for their own entertainment. I thought it was interesting because these are the guys that preach transparency. I get working through stuff, but you can't say you don't want to do the social media drama, but then you come on the podcast and you talk about people's social media drama. And he also admitted, right? So when Joe pretty much told us that they had issue, this might just be me, but it felt like everything transpired during one day after one podcast episode. But they actually all went together when this happened. Rory was in the airport, and it was actually a text conversation that Joe sent him saying, yo, don't come back. When Joe told his side, it seemed that he told him face to face after the last pod that they did not to come back. So Rory sent Mal that screenshot, and that's what pretty much triggered Mal. Now, again, like I said, everything transpired, according to Rory, within like a week. It wasn't a day, right? So that was pretty much Rory's side. Joe shot him a text, which was kind of rude. Like, I work with you. Why would you text me? Why not just give me a call? So now let's get to Mal's side, right? Mal, yo, you guys are right, man. You guys are completely right about Mal. Mal doesn't see the difference between business and friendship, right? And this is what a lot of you guys were saying, But let me just talk about Mal's side. He basically started off the situation. He started talking about it, but then he started to blame other people, right? He was like, yo, like, this made me realize that, people that's not your friends, you really see who's not your friends through tough situations. And I'm assuming he was referring to his beef with Mouse Jones, where they had a little back and forth on Twitter. But he also felt some type of way about Joe having Ice and Ish on the podcast. He sounded very, very jealous that he was quickly replaced. And again, this is where I say you guys were right, where Mal doesn't understand that the show or the podcast can't go on without him. He basically said, yo, Joe, you should have stopped recording. The second we didn't show up, you should have just stopped. That was his main thing. And then Joe said, yo, this is a podcast, like, this feeds a lot of people. This brings us a lot of income. There was a lot of blurred lines between them. And I'm assuming that was the main issue. whereas Joe was treating the podcast as a business. Whereas Maul was like, yo, we're all friends. And his main thing that he brought up a lot was respect, right? He was basically saying, if you don't respect me, I don't want to talk to you. Which is a little bit hypocritical because he confirmed Joe disrespected him. But then you come back to somebody that disrespected you. So that's a little weird. Again, he makes it seem like he's a person of, pride, respect, loyalty. And that's where he got things wrong, right? Joe has been treating this podcast like a business, probably I'd say since their Spotify contract, right? That's when Joe got super PC. He understood the value of the podcast and understood everything that pretty much came on the back end financially, right? I don't think these guys knew all the financial stuff. And they sort of talked about that a little bit where they was like, yo, we had to check, stop and check, like, what's going on with this? Like, why is this person getting paid? So these guys have been podding, not knowing everything going on with their business. Joe, again, told them multiple times, fam, this is my business. He even brought up the fact that they have a legal contract binding them that they have to follow. And Maul pretty much says, yo, screw the contract. I don't care about that. So again, you guys were completely right. Maul does not understand that this is a business still, right? He's still treating it as early on 3 friends just coming in and podding and getting paid. Whereas Joe just has to deal with everything on the back end, right? I just want to keep this short, but from me to you guys, again, this could just be me. It still sounds like they have a lot of things to work out. It still sounds like those lines are still there where Maul will never see the podcast as a business. This may be because he doesn't want to make the podcast that serious. But Joe, again, was firm on his stance of, yo, this is a legit business. This is a multi-million-dollar business, bro. Like, you have to follow the legal contract. You can't just leave, Tell me what you guys thought about this first episode back with them. I think they're going to be here for the long run. I think that they're back. I know a lot of you guys are like, yo, we don't want them back. We want Ice and Ish back. So we'll see what happens. I know Joe is going to see a lot of these tweets saying, yo, we don't want them back. Maybe he might give them their own pod. Who knows? So yeah, this was a very, very telling first episode back. Tell me what you guys thought about it. Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later, man.